All right, so here's the room before I start. This is like the last room in my house that I just haven't bothered renovating. It's also the main room that I use. Um, there's a few things I really want to focus on. This bed is probably going to need to go. It's just nasty. It's old. It's falling off like the veneer or whatever on the chipboard is falling off it. Same with these wardrobes. Like they're big and there's a lot of space in them, but they're pretty old. The top part there where you store like old bed sheets is just kind of nasty and moldy. So at the very least, I'd need to prime it. There's this weird side desk thing that's like connected to the wardrobe. It just takes up a lot of space and I mean, it's extra shelving, I guess. So it is handy, but I don't really want to use it anymore. It's just sitting there. I'd rather have something like a wardrobe or something. And just like that, I have the room cleared so I could start taking on these wardrobes now. Yeah, this bed is a bit worse for wear. I'm gonna try use the slats in the middle to try and make something, maybe a table or something. But yeah, no. Quick safety tip, when you're taking up this trim, always bend the little spikes over just so you don't accidentally step on them or put your hand on them. Just make it a little bit safer for yourself. Okay, so unfortunately, there's this pipe running through the entire wardrobe. Um, Not what I was expected, but it's just a bit of this melanin cover over this plywood box that's just covering the pipe. It's not that much of an issue. It just means that I can't necessarily just put a new dresser, or sorry, a wardrobe against this wall because there'll be this big box in the way. I'll have to think about it, but yeah, it's not that much of an issue. Wow, I think I managed to avoid 7 years of bad luck. So I'm still waiting for the spackle and the tape to dry in this little corner here. It takes 24 hours, so sometimes just some parts of it just don't dry, and it was just like nothing but hollow behind it, so it's just gonna take a while. In the meantime, I'm just sick of waiting around, so I've sanded this wall and I'm going to prime most of the plywood box and just the back plaster. Normally I'd use a bin shellac based primer, but all I have is this other like stain cover one here, so I'm just going to use that up. It should work. All right, well, I have a problem. And the coverage of this Dulux paint is so bad that I'm not going to have enough to even do one coat with the entire room. I'm running on fumes already and I still have another wall to do. I hope I have enough to finish this wall, to be honest. The paint is nice, like this dark green, but the coverage is just so bad. I've never experienced, like I thought this is like a more premium brand of Dulux, so it would be better, but god damn, it sucks. All right, so it's a new day in the room. All the paint is completely dry, and I absolutely love the color. I love how it's turned out. Just perfect kind of like matte finish. Ceiling's looking grand. New coat of paint. Um, Next thing to do before I start laying down the floorboards is there's a few creaky floorboards here and there, and I'm just going to fix them pretty quickly. But other than that, yeah, this should be a quick process. There's nothing I love more in life than an excuse to use my impact driver. All right, well, the floor's down now. It took a while because, well, the light fixture is actually broken in this room. I need to replace it. I tried rewiring, I tried to fix the wires in it, not working. But also, I ran out of boards at the very end. There was like a few boards short, so I had to actually go and buy a new packet, which is infuriating because now there's like 3/4 of a packet left. What can you do? Yeah, it's coming along. Next thing I just need to order the skirting boards in. The place I was originally going to get it's just a bit too pricey. So I'm going to see if I can get a better deal on it. But yeah, that's it. Well, room's done now. Skirting's down. I just need to caulk along the tops of it. There's a bit of a gap between the wall and the caulks. Scraped some of the paint off the light fixtures and stuff as well, but yeah. I got one of these fucking light fixtures in Woodies, and it's a heap of shite. There was no mounting bracket, so I couldn't mount it to the ceiling. I have another one ordered from Screwfix. I just left it in there because the wire's not exposed, so it's not like dodgy or anything. But I'll just need to replace it pretty quickly. So as you can probably tell from the title, I'm planning on making a bed frame using nothing but castle joints. Similar to those Thuma beds that you've probably seen online, they normally range from about £1.50 to 2 to 2.5 grand, depending on the model. I figured, considering how expensive they were, I could probably try to make something a bit cheaper using nothing but 4x2s construction lumber. I got five 4x2s and a load of like 2x1s. These cost me well over €100 just to get. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, for just a few 4x2s, that sounds like a lot, and it is. So I chose to use solid pine instead of the regular white deal that you would normally use for construction lumber in Ireland. So the white deal planks that you normally get in Ireland are all from Sitka spruce trees. Sitka spruce is a non-native tree to Ireland. It's by far the most widely grown tree in the forestry industry here. It's chosen because it's fast growing. It can be turned over a lot, and so they can make a lot more profit from it. But there's a lot of issues with this. Culture, which is our forestry division in the Irish government, even emphasizes using Sitka spruce over natural trees in Ireland. Certain forestry plantations can have like even minimum 65% of their trees being Sitka spruce, the rest of it either being barren or having small bits of flora on the ground floor. This causes a lot of issues because if you only have one tree being planted in a plot, it causes issues with biodiversity. All the flora and natural plants and animals that you would normally find in the land aren't able to cohabitate with these trees. It also has a knock-on effect from a financial standpoint. I mean, Sitka spruce planks, they're not good. They're a lot softer than pine, even though they're both softwoods. I can make an indent on spruce planks with just my fingernail, so it's a lot softer than pine, and and also it doesn't last as long. And because there's so much scarcity with pine and a lot of these natural softwoods and hardwoods that we grow in Ireland, it becomes a lot more financially unviable to use them. And this gets to the point of my rant here. So I don't really have the ability to plant excess trees on any land that I have. I don't have, acres and acres of land that I can just plant natural trees that we have in Ireland and try to help with this issue. But what I can do is decide that I'm just going to use natural native woods from Ireland. So I have three of the legs glued up now. As always, the amount of clamps that I have is one less than I need. So, unfortunately, I don't have enough clamps to glue the fourth one up, but yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. So, for the future, I'm either going to try to reuse wood wherever I can. That's normally what I do for all my wood projects. But if not, then I'm only going to buy pine or oak or ash or any of the other natural woods that we have on this island. Well, I had a feeling something like this would happen. I tried chiseling off one of the pieces and it split. It's a real pain in the ass. I'm going to try glue this up together. Otherwise, well, I'm fucked and I'm going to need to get another 4x2. All right, so I have all these joints made, all the runners made. I have tested them. They're pretty good. I just need to take like a millimeter or two off some of these joints just to make sure that they have a nice fit and it's not too tight. And then I'm gonna have to sand these down. I'm gonna try and get rid of the crease here, but otherwise I'll just cut the edges of the legs so this little rift between where the round over is isn't too obvious. But yeah, finishing and sanding time. Alright, so I had a long think about what kind of finish I was going to use for the bed frame once it was done, and I decided on beeswax. The first coat I mixed a bit of linseed oil and beeswax just to give it a kind of yellowy taste. And it just felt wrong using varnish. Like, I built this thing out of solid wood, I don't want to put a layer of plastic over it. Normally I use varnish with something that has like a high traffic area, something that has a lot of liquids on it. I'm not expecting a lot of water or liquids to be falling on the bed frame. Get your mind out of the gutter, okay? But I would normally use this type of finish on something like a table or like a dining table or something like that. But for something like a bed frame, I think it's good as a nice matte finish and 100% natural finish as well. So yeah, I think it's going to look good. And this is the second coat I've put on it, and it has a nice kind of amber matte finish. And I think it's going to look gorgeous when it's sealed. All right, first test. Here we go. Oh, that's good. This is the room after I finished it. I think the wood looks really nice, especially with that beeswax finish on it. I love the way the castle joints just pop in the end. I think the natural pine goes really well with the laminate oak floors and with the green paint. It gives a nice warm feeling to the entire room.